I'm not sure if this would be considered the 2/3 point for recordings for, you know, all the 70-year-olds of 2023. But I'm getting there, I think. I might just do all the 70-year-olds this year. This is show that I can. The Asylum is the next one, I guess. And this is another downloadable one, so let's go for the zip here. And of course it fails on the first go. Zoom. Zoom. And yes, this is my network, not the not X's fault, not everything else's fault. Extract this, get it to go. There we go. The Asylum. We got ourselves an EXE and an icon. Alright, well, first things first, let's read up about this game. And before I forget, by the way, I should probably note that for post-apocalyptic, there's like its stats right there. So it looks like the only thing that really suffered the most was like fun. I mean, it had like one loss for completeness. It had one loss for innovation. For some reason, someone basically rated it like a free in like scope, so it went above like the 2 grade. I don't really agree with that, but whatever. I guess they did a lot of work in like the title screen, but I wouldn't consider that part of the scope for like 7DRL. That's just sort of like fluff. Alright, but anyways, that's basically like post-apocalyptic. This is Asylum right here, by the way, that we'll be doing next. This is going to have apparently issues with aesthetics. So either people didn't like the controls or didn't like the graphics. And it's also got a 2.0 for Roguelikeness, so someone basically rated down for... Oh, all three of them rated down for Roguelikeness. Okay, well, that's fine. So, the game requires Java 11 or higher. The final Jam version 1.0.4 is in the vein of Mario Maker for roguelikes. Players can design, test, and upload their own levels to be played and rated by the other players. The other offers quite a bit of flexibility in designing how things will behave in your level. You can upload levels without creating an account, but you cannot rate them, and your win and loss doesn't contribute to the stats. Creating an account is required to upload levels, but it can be done easily in the game. So I don't have to make an account like here. That's good. Now here's a question: is there any procedural generation for this game, or is it basically all custom made? That'd be my first thing to say about this game. So actually, we'll see about that. Also, I was looking at the comments here, and the first comment came from Lone Subblucker, basically being like, is there any place getting some instructions on how to play, specifically controls? So it looks like there's like an attempt basically by this guy to make a tutorial, but he ran out of time, and that'll be like the main reason I think the aesthetics basically are like whereas like Mark Lords, because like controls perhaps being bad. And we got it up here. Let's just see what they basically said. So the Asylum. The tile set was workable. I did appreciate that the floors and walls had multiple tile types, but I'd like to see more tiles and some more UI polish, especially in the editor. The art is decent. Controls are reasonably intuitive, but the editor could have used some of polish work. Alright, so they didn't say anything about controls, but whatever. Let's see how it plays. Alright, so AVG is being, is saying stuff here. Alright, well, I can log in, but we're not going to do that. I don't feel like logging in. So you can edit. To upload a level, you must be logged in. So, okay. How do I exit from like here? Okay, let's just play. Alright, so screenshot. Level name is screenshot. Level offer is Zendara. Victory percent is 3%.2. Level 4. We get a snuck pit. Troll Town, Skirmish, Vault 203. Alright, so I'm going to note by the way that this is not a roguelike. I'm pretty sure these are like, all people basically making a game. If you don't have procedural generation, it can't really be considered a roguelike. Just going to throw that right now. So, well, let's just get to it, I guess. We'll go for Troll Town here first. We'll have Trolls. Lower rating is 4 by Goat Rodeo. So you've entered the dungeon. Okay, so you can basically use the cursor keys to move around. There's a poison potion. Ufo hits player for 2. You killed the Ufo. There's a potion. Heals 10. You can right click and you can use stuff that way. There's a scroll. It's got blink. There's a scroll. It's got fireball. I don't have a key basically to open that up, so well. Let's see if I right click on this. Ouch! I think I hit my own self right there. So yeah, basically it's got a huge AoE, this thing. Okay, if you press space, you can basically wait. Heal up a little bit. So it looks like it's basically a cardinal direction type of relic, because I don't really see any keys for, It seems like, the cursor keys are all you basically use to like move around. The door hits the player for free damage. I'm getting injured by doors? Interesting. So use, and there's a trap apparently somewhere here. I don't know why I would do that if I basically hit myself like that, but whatever. So that's a trap, and he walks over the trap. So you can actually see the trap spot if like you hover over him. So this is King Trollington. I'm gonna use this, just keep fighting. Okay, we beat him. And that's basically the level. So, yeah, essentially these are like, they're player made, which means you don't have any procedural generation. I guess you could have like gotten like scrolls or like other stuff over there if you want to. Well, let's just try going in for like another like go of it, I guess. I'll basically just like the victory percentage for like his map there. So if I jump into play and I go down to Trollton, 50% still. So I guess it didn't, but whatever. There's skirmish. Can you kill the champion? You are dangerous next. I assume Ufo Games is the guy who basically made this, by the way, so... Well, it's apparently made by Zendarva. So, it's just being made by Zendarva. So, I have to note that the major like flaw of this game is it doesn't have procedural generation, so... If I was actually ranking this, I would have given this a 1 in roguelike just for that. If not, basically, like, it's just a Darren, this would probably be removed. I should probably make a video like, the things you probably definitely need to basically look into to basically have for a roguelike. A lot of people are basically saying like you need to have like stats, you need to have like turn-based and stuff like that, but the two major things you basically need for a roguelike are permadeath and like procedural generation. If you don't have those, then you don't really have a roguelike. Alright, so the Asylum is right there. And yeah, you can see like, they're rated basically at 2.0, so if your contractual level grade is like, sure, it'd be no, I wouldn't. So yeah, note that it plays like a roguelike based on parking every round, so they're noticing this right away. So I don't really agree with it myself, but whatever. And I'm not sure they understand the point of like procedural generation, but that is basically the point right here to note. So basically the thing here about like, the thing about procedural generation is that it's supposed to basically be there to like, basically reset the level so you have a different experience every time. If you can basically play the level again, which is basically like, not having procedural generation basically does, you can basically like learn the level and basically figure out how to basically play it. And like, by like trial and error basically beat the game that way. So let's see here. Zendarva is basically a guy who basically like, made this game. Let's play this game right here. The level for the screenshot. So his level for the screenshot is right here. So I guess this is like his level right here. Well, let's just play it blind for the most part, because that's how you're supposed to basically play a roguelike. So there's a pot there. There is something here. That's a spider apparently. I can see why people were complaining about the tiles being sort of hard to read because it's a little bit bulky. The vent breaks apparently. There's a potion, it heals. Bookshelf breaks. Let's kill a snake. There's a spider. Bookshelf broke. There's our scroll. There's a scroll blink right there. Okay, so these guys hit me diagonally, so it looks like there is like some sort of diagonal movement. Or maybe like you can attack diagonally. No, these guys have a ranged weapon apparently. See, he's got range damage of 5. So you lost, retry. And yeah, basically like you retry because you can. Do. Okay, let's see here. Let's back up. He does have a fairly good range, by the way. So use. And we're just going to go here. He backed up, apparently, trying to get away from me. And I lost. Kind of hard to gauge basically where my hit bar basically is, but when it's basically like, low, it's low. I guess this is also my like HP up here. So we'll use this and we'll get right here. Attack you. Looks like I'm like half HP, so heal up. Okay, we killed those guys. Okay, I hit a trap there, because, traps. There'll be another trap right here, harm for HP. That one really hurt. Alright, so that's basically like the level basically completed. So All right, so it's not basically a lot more basically to say about Asylum, but my impressions basically is the lack of that proc gen is basically a major failing here. If you basically have some option where you could basically have the levels basically procedurally generate for you, as well as have player generated maps, you'd have a roguelike. But without basically having that one factor, it's not really a roguelike. The thing here to think about is the fact if you think about games like Wasteland or other stuff like that, they could be considered roguelikes if they basically didn't have the proc gen. You really need the proc gen, or else people can just play a level over again, and that's the main failing here. But whatever. Hope you guys basically enjoyed the the game, and that's all I'm really gonna play for it. So take care.